This is a 2022 Ford Explorer King Ranch, and it is a relatively new trim level in the Explorer lineup. And today I'm going to be bringing you a review and walking you through Ford's most luxurious and most expensive, for starting price, Explorer trim level. So let's hop right into the video. All right, now starting on the exterior, this King Ranch is finished in agate black metallic, which I think is a pretty good looking black paint color. Sometimes, depending on the car, I prefer flat black, but on this, with it being supposed to be a luxury car in Ford's lineup, I don't think the metallic looks bad. You have your LED headlights up here as well, and you have some chrome accents on the grille right here. Now moving over to the side, you have these 20-inch rims right here, wrapped in these 255, 55, R20 all-season tires. Moving down the side, more chrome right here with the King Ranch badge that says established in 1853 below that. These chrome roof rails right here as well. Now coming back here, of course, you have the quad tip exhaust. This has the 3-liter twin turbo V6 on the inside, 4-wheel drive, and another King Ranch badge right there with your tow hitch down here. And again, LED taillights to go with the LED headlights up front. All right, now moving on to the cargo capacity of the Explorer. This has a hands-free liftgate right here. Now, with the third row up, you get 18.2 cubic feet of cargo space. With the third row down, you're gonna have 47.9 cubic feet of cargo space. And with the second row down, you're gonna have 87.8 cubic feet of cargo space, so plenty. You also have these power raising and folding seats right here, as you can see with the buttons on the side. And plenty of tie downs and storage back here to store some other personal items. So yeah, perfectly fine. Good practicality. All right, now as for the engine, luckily Ford has this thing right here where I can pull the thing twice and I don't have to fiddle with any hood latches. So, are you for real? They removed the struts that hold the hood up on their top trim level. Wow. Anyway, so this is a 3-liter twin turbo V6, makes 400 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque, and it's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And of course, this one is 4-wheel drive, so you'll be able to get through any conditions that might hold you up if you have 2-wheel drive. So yeah, even in bad weather, this will be perfectly capable, especially with that powerful of an engine under there. You'll be fine. All right, now moving on to the interior of the Explorer King Ranch. In front of you have a 12-inch digital gauge cluster that changes based on the drive modes that you are in. If we can go over those real quick. Going all the way over to the left, you have tow and haul, then you have sport, eco mode, normal, then you have slippery, trail, and deep snow and sand. Now I mentioned that tow mode. The Explorer can tow 5,600 pounds as it sits right now, which is a fairly decent amount for a family mid-size SUV to be able to do. All right, you also have this leather-wrapped heated steering wheel right here. You have heated and cooled seats up front and heated seats in the rear. Now right here you have a 10.1-inch center screen right here running Sync 3 with plenty of features, navigation. It is a little slower than the systems running Sync 4. I do prefer Sync 4 definitely over one of these. It's just a little laggy, so hopefully Ford can, go forth with that and put Sync 4 in the Explorers instead of Sync 3. Now as for the materials in here, it's actually super nice compared to the rest of the Explorer lineup. Ford claims this is actually real wood, which, that's interesting that they put that in an Explorer, which only cost about 60 grand. You wouldn't think Ford would be the one to do that. The leather is this Java brown leather seating, which is nice and comfortable, and the leather is soft. You also have this design right here for the King Ranch logo on the seats and on the center console right here, and it also says established in 1853. Now as for the safety features in here, you have lane keeping assist, which you can turn on using the turn signal stalk right here. Adaptive cruise control, lane centering assist on the highway, so if you keep your hands on the steering wheel, the car will steer in lane for you. And you have also stuff like emergency automatic braking and blind spot monitoring. Now as for the sound system in here, you do get a 14-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system, which sounds pretty good. Bang & Olufsen typically makes pretty good sound systems and competes with stuff like Bose, which is in the GM products. Now something that I find interesting, and I guess it kind of makes sense, but this thing doesn't have paddle shift shifters. The ST does. So if you're looking for a sporty driving experience where you have more control over the car and you want a family SUV, probably going to want to go for the ST. You'll be missing out on some of this nicer leather, but on the King Ranch, you do not get the paddle shifters like you do on the ST, but you do get this cool rotary dial that everyone seems to love. As for some of the cameras and stuff in here, you have a 360-degree camera, a rear camera, front camera, and a front 180-degree camera. Now this has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, not wirelessly like the F-150s and the Broncos, which kind of sucks. You have to have it plugged in, especially when you're paying this price. You would think Ford would upgrade the infotainment system to Sync 4 to be able to be compatible with that, but still on Sync 3. As for storage in here up front, you have a really deep center console with a 12-volt socket in here, which, you know, I can't believe they haven't converted that over the Type-C yet. You have a wireless charger down here as well that you can charge your phone, and a USB Type-C, USB-A, and another 12-volt socket. Now the door bins have plenty of room as well, and you do get these nice grab handles on the door right here. Glove box compartment, nice as well. Again, you don't get a glove box light like in the F-150, so yeah, I guess it was a cost cutting on all their models to take out the glove box light. But other things, you have a dual panel moonroof up there, which is, I believe, $1,600 option, which is crazy expensive for a moonroof, and those controls are right here. Home link as well, sitting right there, and then sunglasses holder. So yeah, the front seats have plenty and plenty of features. It's honestly great. And of course, all your other controls over here. Now, traction control button down there as well, auto stop start and hill descent control, and auto hold. The auto hold makes it so if you go up to a stoplight, you turn that on, you can actually take your foot off the brake and the car will hold you in place so you don't have to. All right, now we can move on to the back seats and see what's going on back there, see all the room you can get. Right, now that we're in the back seats, it's a pretty good place to be. You have these back seat pockets for storage, plenty of headroom, and plenty of knee room. The seats are just as comfortable back here as they are up front. As for connectivity, you do have a USB Type-A and a USB Type-C right here, and a 150-watt outlet right here. Heated seats in the back with single zone climate control, so total you have 3 zones in this vehicle for your climate control. Now you also have these nice little shades you can put up over the window just so you can keep the sun out of your eyes, or if you have like a baby in the back seat, they won't have the sun shining on them, which is a nice feature. Since this has captain's chairs, you do have these armrests right here. You can get this configured in a bench seat for free. It used to be different at the beginning when the Explorers came out. You had to pay to get captain's chairs, and then you had to pay to get a bench seat, but now they're both free options. So you can either go back and forth between captain's chairs and an entire bench, depending on what you want. You also have your cup holders down here, just in case you're interested in those, though. When I've been in the Explorer that we own, one of them broke, so we had to get those fixed, which was cheap, but you know, be careful not to like wail on this thing really hard or it could break. Now, as for the seats in the back, let me just fold these up for you real quick. What kind of car makes it so you can't open the seats unless you have the tailgate open? All right, so keep this in mind, guys. To raise the back seats, you do need to have the lift gate open. You can't do that without the lift gate being open, which I think is a stupid design flaw, but whatever. Anyways, for the back seats, let's see, these seats are definitely harder than the ones on the second row and the first row, but this isn't all the way back, but right there, the passenger in front of you should have plenty of room, and I do have good knee room and headroom back here, and I even have these climate vents. That way I don't get too claustrophobic and hot back here. Now, you do have hooks back here. It doesn't seem like, oh, there are connectivity ports. Yep, right under the switches to raise the seats, you actually have a connectivity port right here and a little light. Oh, yeah, it's not that bad back here, honestly. If you were to go on a road trip with 6 passengers or 5 passengers and yourself, this wouldn't be terrible. I think little kids could survive back here easily. Go ahead and move that seat back as far as possible. All right, now that the seat is as far back as possible, sitting up all the way, my knees are jammed into the back of it. I couldn't slouch at all. My knees would just, yeah. All right, now driving the Explorer King Ranch, like I said, 3-liter V6 with 400 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque, 4-wheel drive. Now to start with, the steering feels a lot lighter in here than in the ST, like immediately, and I've driven the ST a bunch. This definitely feels like a lot easier of a car to drive compared to it, and the throttle response is definitely different even when you're in normal mode. Normal mode in the ST, the throttle still feels pretty touchy like it would be if this car was in sport mode. This car's a lot more of a relaxing car to drive versus the Ford Explorer ST. Now, it also doesn't feel like it's as quick off the line as a Ford Explorer ST. Like I said, this doesn't have the paddle shifters like the ST does, so you won't get that same control over the transmission that you would in the Ford Explorer ST either. Now, for gas mileage right now, this car has about 94 miles on it, and we're averaging 17.8 miles per gallon. And with these turbocharged engines, it's a hit or miss thing when it comes to gas mileage. You can either have really good gas mileage, you can have really bad gas mileage, depending on how you drive the car. The car doesn't have tons of body roll either. It's pretty well planted on its feet. It doesn't feel like you're driving a boat when you go around the corners and everything. It's a very comfortable car to drive. Like I said, the seats are very nice. The leather is very soft in here. And it's a car you can just have one hand on the wheel and be chill with. Now, you can access that 400 horsepower and that 400 pound-feet, or that 415 pound-feet of torque pretty easily when you put it into sport mode, and it livens that throttle response up for you, and which is a nice change if you're just looking for a tad bit more of a sporty experience for a bit. So you pop it over into sport mode, and you do get that extra oomph that you've been wanting to, and it really allows you to get more access to that 400 horsepower than if you were just in normal mode. But overall, in normal mode, it's a relaxing car to drive. It's a grocery getter with a nice interior and a pretty good looking outside. I've always thought the Explorers looked pretty good, and when they overhauled them in 2020, I thought it was a big change that made the Explorer look really good, like the STs especially. One of my favorite American SUVs on the market right now is the Ford Explorer ST, because it just looks pretty aggressive for what it is. It's got massive rims, big brakes, red brake calipers, bunch of black accents, so it's a good looking vehicle. So when you put it into sport mode, it gives you the tachometer and it gives you the speedometer gauges instead of just the speedometer. Now, I've also noticed that when you put it into sport mode, it pumps more of that V6's audio into the car, so it sounds like you're getting more of an exhaust note, but you're really not. They're just pumping the audio into the car to make it sound more sporty, which does make the ride a little more engaging, but it is fake. But the car is still decently quick, and the transmission is pretty intelligent. The 10-speed actually, through your driving habits, will learn how you drive and adjust itself based on how you drive. And in this car, it is pretty responsive. In the ST, it's even more fun because you do have the paddle shifters and you do have that control. But you still do get a generally good amount of sportiness out of this. Yeah, it's just, the Explorer can be a fun car to drive. And when you go and put it back into normal mode, the transmission just returns to being very smooth. It doesn't hold its gears like it would in sport mode.
Thank you for watching. If you want to see more from us, go down and consider hitting the subscribe button and going to our channel to view all of our content. If you did like this video, make sure you smash that like button down below. I will see you all in the next video.